everybody, welcome to What Had Happened Was. I'm Karyn Bryant here with
Angel Overkill Hill. Boom.
All right, listen. So, Angie, it is the fight week for UFC 264. Everybody and their mother and brother are going to be doing UFC 264 preview shows. So let's do something different.
Oh, what would you like to do, Karyn?
Well, Karyn's like to complain about things, but I'm gonna actually. I want to answer. I want to answer some questions. No, listen. I know we both put the call out saying we had a lot of questions to get to, but first and foremost, even before we get to the questions, Angela, you are knee deep in fight camp. Everybody's been commenting like on your pictures. They're like, "Holy crap, Angie looks like she's so serious. She's got the gun show. Like she's shredded. She's killing it." How is camp going for you?
Camp's going pretty good. I am switching things up a little bit. I'm doing a lot of training outside of the gym, a lot of grappling. I've been working with Justin Flores, who is most famous for his athlete Ronda Rousey, and I've just been doing a lot of new techniques with my striking, working with Coach Adam, who just walked out the room. He's also my husband.
I was going to say you pay him by sleeping with him, which is weird, but okay.
Hey, it could be worse. He could not get paid like a lot of MMA coaches out there. So at least he gets a little booty on the side. No, but yeah, we actually kind of grew up in this together. We started training at the same time. He became more of a coach. I became more of an athlete, and it really works out just because he knows my style so well, and he's really good at just like learning techniques by watching and seeing what works and understanding the give and take of the MMA game. So we've been adding like cool little tricks and stuff every time that I fight, and it's been easy because we just go in the garage and work on stuff, and yeah, I just feel my level rising up. So garage work, grappling like a motherfucker, running, lifting, all that stuff's happening every week until bitch fucking season happens.
Nice. And I love that people don't know that there you have a contest going for tickets, and it's so great because who was it that posted a picture the other day in front of like the Scientology with your like really aggro t-shirt on, and it was so great.
Yes, it was so good. Her name is Esha. I forget her last name, but she's like one of those MMA Twitter personalities who are always like commenting, and it's kind of cool because she's a black chick, and you don't really see too many of us in the MMA sphere as just fans. So I thought that was really cool, especially because like, dude, I've always like just been weirded out by Scientology. I actually did an art school project where I went into one of the places in Times Square, and I just checked it out to see what it was all about because I had already like watched South Park rag on it.
Right.
Like, okay, I want to see if it's actually as crazy as South Park made it seem, and it was. It was really nuts. So, hey, sorry to any Scientologists out there that I'm offending, but it's nuts. So she had like some real balls going into the Scientology church and just taking pictures at the pulpit, taking pictures in front of the church. Like, hopefully she's not getting tracked or getting stalked or anything. They're not going through her trash cans and...
Right. Yeah, no, she is cool because I've talked to her on Twitter too. Yeah, and she seems totally cool. And I saw that picture and I was like, and it's funny because it's funny how you make like Twitter friends. And I've never met her, but I'm like, she just seems totally cool. But you're right, that's who it was. Yeah. And I actually have a friend who is a Scientologist, and she's a great girl. So I can't blanket statement that because the one girl that I know who is great. But yes, I just thought that took a lot of nerve to take that picture. So.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. It was really cool. And we have like two other guys who took really cool pictures too. So I'm going to have a vote on the 7th, which gives them all, like whoever wins, a month to get like flights and everything. And we're going to see who wins the t-shirt contest. And just for context, I started this contest because who was it? It was Ben Folks had said on his podcast, Ben Folk said on his podcast that he wanted to buy my shirt, but he couldn't think of an appropriate place to wear it. So I said, hey, anyone who wants to buy my bitch fucking season shirt and wear it to anywhere that's inappropriate, go for it. Take a photo, and the best photo gets 2 tickets to my next fight if there's an audience. Yeah. And there is. We're going to be in Houston, Gain versus Lewis for the interim belt. And yeah, it's going to be dope. So I'm excited.
Cool. Very cool. It is exciting. And it is, yeah, let's just say it's a risky shirt to wear some places. So good for those people with all the nerve. Okay. So,
kudos to the dude who wore it to the playground.
Scary. Yeah, it's scary. Okay, so we asked for questions this time, and I know we got some good ones. I don't know. I'm going to jump right in with one that we got on Twitter from Isaac Valley Flag, if people remember Ike Valley Flag. This one he put, yeah, he's awesome. He's so great. And he put, there's a rumor going around that Tupac is alive and living in one of the pueblos here in New Mexico. Can you guys research and address whether this is the truth or not? Thanks. I think Tupac is alive. I'm not sure what your take is on this. But we live here in Los Angeles, and it's funny because I drive my daughter through the intersection where Biggie was shot a lot, right there on Fairfax and Wilshire. And we were driving and we were listening to Hypnotize the other day, and I was like, baby girl, like this is where it went down. And we were like, Biggie, Biggie, Biggie. And so I drive by that all the time. Whether or not Tupac is dead, I don't know. I kind of would like to believe that he's not. And I was jumping rope to some Tupac today. I don't know if he lives in New Mexico. If he's alive, I have a feeling I don't know if he'd live in New Mexico is my only take on that, Isaac. So I'm going to say that that wasn't him living in a pueblo. I would say Tupac is alive, but not living in New Mexico. What's your take?
If Tupac's alive, he's definitely on a deserted island somewhere, hanging out with Biggie and Michael Jackson and all those guys. No, I don't know. I don't know. It's like one of those conspiracy theories, right? Like Area 51, Tupac's alive, like they never saw his body, and then there's all these other ones. I mean, I'd love to think that I feel like he was such a good spokesperson for hip hop, you know? Like he was such a good personality. He was smart. He understood a lot of things about the industry that other people never talked about in that time. So, like he was really before his time. So, hey, if Tupac's out there, hey man, come back.
Come on back. Well, because you also remember when there was the tour with the holograms and everybody, and they like looked too real, and people got kind of freaked out. They were like, "Wait a minute."
Yeah, and you see the impersonators all the time. Like I see them all the time on TikTok. They're like, "Oh, there he is. There's Tupac.
There he is again." Exactly. Yeah. All right, you have a question? Did you get a question? Okay, yeah, I know we do have a lot of real questions, but that one to me just was fun.
We have a lot of good questions. Okay, I will start with.
Okay.
Would you rather have a round with Ngannou or a drinking contest with Bisping?
I have gone drinking with Bisping, so I will take the Bisping answer. Me personally, I would rather. I have gotten drunkle. Look at me. I've gotten drunkle with Michael. Drunkle with Michael. So that clearly proves that I'm not lying. Bisping and I have tossed several cocktails back over the years, and that dude is nothing but fun, 100% pure fun. So I'm not saying Francis isn't fun, but the idea of getting punched by Francis versus getting drunk with Michael, I'll take getting drunk with Michael every time. What about you?
Yes, I agree. Oh, and let me just say that Emiliano _ RDGZ asked this question, so thank you for this question. Very interesting. Okay. And I would also take Michael Bisping up because I think I have a chance winning that then around with Ngannou. So that's my take as well.
Yeah. Michael's a lot of fun. And Michael is funny because he's always, a lot of the time he's trying to do the right thing. A little inside information for people is I can't tell you how many weekends I've been on a fight weekend and Michael's like, I'm not drinking. this weekend I'm going to be a good boy. And then it's like you text him, you're like, Mike, we're all in the bar. Just come down just for one glass of wine. And then, 4 o'clock in the morning.
You're an enabler.
I'm a bit of an enabler when it comes to Michael because Michael is such a good time that I always want to hang out with him. So yeah, I fully admit to enabling and asking his butt to get down to the bar to hang out with the rest of us because he's a good time all the time. So
yeah. I've only hung out with him once at a bar, and it was that time that what was it? Oh, I was thinking about filling in for either Joanna or Michelle. They had to call me and tell me the next day. They're like, okay, you might have to weigh in a day to fight either Joanna at 125 or Michelle at 115. And I was like, all right. And then it kept going and it looked like it wasn't going to happen. So I was like, oh, this is a stressful day. I'm just going to go have a drink. And Michael was there and he was like, you're having a whiskey? I heard you had a fight coming up. And I'm like, well, maybe. And he's like, you're a bad bitch. And he kept saying it all night. And I was like, this guy's so fun. So,
he is. I adore him.
With you. Michael's a good time. Yeah, for sure.
He is a good time. I freaking love that dude. I just love him. Okay, so let's see. Some of these are kind of, these are tough. Okay, so friendly Spar Pod said, asking you, Angie, what's your favorite fight of yours? And what is KB's favorite Angie fight? So why don't you answer that first? What's your favorite fight of yours?
Man, I have a bunch of different ones for different reasons. The first one would be the Cyphers fight, just because it was the first time I got a TKO on the ground. Yeah. I felt like that was a big accomplishment for me. But then Cyphers went on and lost a bunch, so I was like, damn it, Cyphers. Quit taking fights. Yeah. Quit going up a weight class and then taking another fight 2 weeks later against
every 3 days. Yeah.
Yeah. Just fight some other people. But then another one is my fight against Andrade, because I felt like I proved a lot by coming back into the UFC. I had gotten cut from the UFC. Everyone was like, she's shit. She sucks. She's not even going to make it in Invicta. And then I went on to win 4 in a row, won the belt, came back to fight Andrade, and they're like, she sucks. She's not going to last a second with Andrade. She's going to get knocked out. And it was a fight of the night. I felt like I did really good, and I dropped her in the 3rd round. So it was a big confidence boost for me. Even though I felt like I was going to go in there and smash her and prove everyone wrong, at least it was the best way to lose, to get a fight of the night, to drop her, to cause damage. I messed her face up more than she messed mine up, so I was happy about that. And I think that's one of my favorite fights for sure.
That happens to be my favorite fight of yours as well, because that's the one I was going to take, because to me, it's for exactly that reason. It was everybody knew what a wrecking machine Jessica was, and it was you coming back, and the fact, like you said, that you dropped her, the fact that Andrade, we would always compare her. We would call her the female John Lineker. We were like, oh, Jessica just squares up and throws the F down. And most girls were afraid of that, and most girls wouldn't stand with that. And so, honestly, that's the one that stands out to me as well. And I think you were wearing your little white outfit, right? And yeah. And I'm like, it's a badass fight. And like you said, it didn't go your way, but it showed so much. And the fact that you did drop her, and a lot of girls hadn't done that to her yet. And it seemed to me to be such a proving ground fight. And I feel like, there's other fights that you've had with other girls that have been good and maybe were more competitive, or maybe fights that you won. It wasn't even that. To me, that one really stands out as something, because I don't want to fight Jessica Andrade. And you did. So I'm for sure. So that's funny. That's cool. I love that fight. It's great. It's great. Come on. And Jessica keeps going on to win, and she's and that was the whole thing. It was there's more than one badass in the Octagon. Okay. All right. So your question, you pick one now. Okay.
Okay. Let's see.
There's a couple questions here that only you can answer that are pretty funny, but only you can answer.
Man, okay, you pick one. I need you to pick one, because I haven't.
All right, well then I'm going to ask you this one.
About it, but now I have too many to look at.
Right, because I can't answer this one. Only you can, because I've only had one of these experiences. Caesar _ VS80 is asking you specifically, Angela, what's the best feeling, an orgasm or a win in the Octagon?
Oh my goodness, I was going to skip that one. Damn it, Karyn.
Well, one of these, you can't fake a win in the Octagon. No, I don't even know what analogy I'm making. I was just going to say, there's only one of these things I've experienced. I've never won in the Octagon, so I don't know how to answer that question.
Oh man. Okay, so I would say the only way that orgasm can compare to winning in the Octagon, because winning in the Octagon feels amazing. So the only way an orgasm can compare to winning in the Octagon is if you haven't had an orgasm in the same amount of time as you haven't had a win. Does that make sense?
Ooh,
so
yes.
if I like, let's say my last win was February against Yoder. If I go on to win, when I beat Tisha's ass,
there you go.
That will be like 6 months in between my fight. So imagine not having an orgasm for 6 months, and then you finally have one. It was like amazing. It's like lasts for like more than a couple seconds. That is the only time an orgasm will feel almost as good. But the win always feels best, because that's your life's work, you know? Like, you're happy for days. You're just like, you're sleeping with a smile on your face, like, yeah, I did that. You're like scrolling through your phone. You can like look at all the Twitter trolls and like the Instagram trolls and stuff, and just like smile. They're like shit talk, because you're just on cloud nine. And yeah, that doesn't happen with no orgasm.
I will say this, though I haven't had the orgasm in the Octagon, I will say I do get the performance of the night bonus.
Yeah, I think I
and I don't mean because I'm faking it. I'm just saying I get the performance bonus.
Hey,
it's a joke. Yeah, we're joking here, people.
Foot in the mouth.
It's because I have my daughters listening in the other room. We're gonna edit that part out. No, we're not.
Yeah.
No, we're not. That's gonna be the new promo. Who are we kidding?
I'm the editor.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so here's a question. Wallace _ Foon is asking, is it weird when you get recognized during your everyday life? So,
yes, it is. It is. It's very weird. Just because I feel like I haven't really like made it yet. Like I haven't become a superstar yet. Maybe it's because I'm so humble.
The most humble
person.
Yeah.
I'm the most humble person. But yeah, I just feel like I haven't like broken that level of just like superstardom yet. So it is weird to me, but it also feels really nice. It's not, I would always encourage fans to come up to me and say hi and you know, just say whatever's on their mind, because it keeps me going, and it makes my day. I'll be like all motivated the next day to like train hard and like do it for that fan that said hi to me at the brewery, you know, like it really does make my day. And it's because I do feel like I'm still working and I'm still trying to make it. But the fact that just the coincidence of someone who recognized me, who likes what I'm doing, happened to be in the same room as me, it's like a real confidence boost. So it's weird, but like I love it and continue to do it. If you see my mom, go up to her, because that like, oh, she's on cloud nine. That's probably better than the orgasm to her. when a fan like sees her with her Angela Hill hoodie on and goes, "Hey, are you an Angela Hill fan?" And she's like, "That's my daughter." And they're like, "What?" Like that. She'll tell me about that like 5 times in a day. So, so if you see my mom, say hi. If you see me, say hi. Like I love it. It's weird, but I love it. And yeah, don't feel weird about saying hi.
I'm the same way. I'm always sort of like startled. I'm like, really? Like, you know, like really? Hi, you know, and most of the time people are really nice. And a lot of the time, and maybe you get this too, a lot of the time I get people like with their kid or something like, my daughter saw you on TV and they saw that, a girl with curly hair can make it too, or you're a great role model. And I know, and it's really sweet. And because I'm definitely one of those people who is so goal oriented, and I am so ambitious that I'm definitely not the type of person who stops and smells the roses, or sort of pats myself or appreciates even the accomplishments that I've already done. So when somebody else will point them out to me, then I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like at first I was sort of like a little embarrassed, but if somebody says that you're sort of role modeling, you're like, oh, that's cool. Like I do like that. And it's kind of funny, like if you're out with your kid, but especially like you said, the moms, like if I'm out with my mom and I get recognized, you're like you said, it's like the greatest thing ever. It's the greatest thing ever. They love it. And like my mom will say like, that the guy will come to, fix her cable or, do something to install. And she's got, of course, pictures all over. And so sometimes somebody will come over to do something and recognize me. And, and then they'll be like, oh, is that your, and she's like, oh yeah, that's my daughter. She's the UFC anchor. And then like, she's like, I got great service that day, or whatever. So, it is kind of fun. I think the only hard part is when you think, you're at the public pool or a place where you don't want to get recognized. There are certain places where you don't want to get recognized. And I don't know why our vajayjays are the theme today, but like, I swear I've been in a doctor's appointment and the guy was like, why do I know you? I'm like, well, you know me really well because you're up in my stuff right now. But I've actually had that happen where you're like, I don't want to talk to you right now about why I look familiar. Not the time. Yeah. Dude.
That's so funny. Yeah, it's actually really hard for me when I go to a doctor's appointment to say like my profession, because they're always like, so what do you do? And I'm like, I fight. And they're like,
really?
Got enough fight? Like, no, I fight professionally. I'm a professional fighter. I guess that's what I meant to say. But it's always kind of weird, especially when you're in there for something that you don't want out.
Right. And one time I was in there and they were like, hey, we're having a thing in we're like a teaching office and we wanted to know if we could have some interns in. I'm like, not today. No. Not today.
Bye. They will be on Twitter so quick.
Exactly. But yes, in general, it is always a little weird, but in general, and like you, I've had very positive experience with people. So I encourage people to come up and say hi, if they want to. Cause yeah, I'm friendly. I know you're friendly too. So,
nice.
Okay. Here's a question for you. Okay, this is interesting. This is from Catalina. It looks like Catalina Miranda. She's saying, other than MMA, what are some outside goals that you both have? Any secret ambitions?
Ooh. Okay. I guess I'll start. I have a few. One, well, it's kind of within MMA, but I'd love to open up a gym. I always felt like teaching was my thing. Okay. And same with Adam. And I feel like it would be really cool to open up a MMA gym either here or, my mom's going to hate me for saying this, but Scotland, because that's where Adam's from. So going back to his motherland.
I'm part Scottish too, so I'll come help you open that one.
Hey, there you go. Practice, show them how to throw those pointy ass elbows. So that's one thing I want to do. And I also want to open up a bar. Me and Adam both bartended like our entire adult lives up until...
But that's not how you met though, is it?
No, we met in art school. So that's another one. So we met in art school on student exchange in Japan. It's a long story, but we both bartended in New York for a long time and always wanted to open up like a fight themed bar or bar / restaurant, something like a bunch of people could come and watch fights from every different place of the world. Like you could watch like fights from Thailand. You could watch fights like the Olympic trials or whatever, like anything fight related, you could watch it. and it would have like healthy-ish food so that you're not like, if you're an actual fighter, you still have something to eat. It's like the main reason I don't go out to eat a lot, because it's always like a hassle getting food that's healthy when I'm in fight camp.
Yeah.
So something like that. So a bar that has healthy food and I guess like non-alcoholic drinks, but also drinks. So those are a couple of my ambitions for afterwards. And of course, like the commentating thing is really fun, like doing analyst work, working with people like you. So I would love to do that in the future too and make a career out of that.
Well, you're on your way for sure. Yeah, for sure. Like having something called like the arm bar, or like, because I've thought about that too, opening up a bar, a fight bar. And actually a friend of mine here in LA who has a gym, we thought about that, like of opening a gym where there was a bar attached to it where like you could watch the people train and stuff if you wanted to, and or like you said, like watch, you know, fight stuff going on, and you'd have like a real fight environment. Same thing. Like we just need some seed money, Angie. I might want to help you on that one, because I think that would be amazing too.
I mean, it feels like we're in the same direction, so.
Exactly. Because I know for me, I want my my lifelong dream has been to have a late night talk show, and so a lot of the things that I work on, and I have all these different shows that that are not on the air, but that I constantly am pitching and developing, because I've actually done TV things for a long time. Before I even got into sports, I did a bunch of entertainment things, and so I came into sports with a lot of history and entertainment reporting and things like that. And so I want to bring those two worlds together. But so, yeah, my dream has always been a late night talk show. That has been always forever my dream. So I do want to do that. I also want to write a book, but like a novel. And somebody was asking me the other day, they were like, hey, yeah, like you should write, you should write a story. Actually, on Twitter, Isha, how we say her name, we were talking about that. Like somebody, she had said something about like, oh, you should write a book. And I put, well, I said, the thing about it is I've thought about it, but I get to the point where I'm supposed to say the names of the people that I did the stuff with. And that's the part where I get hung up with. And I was like, and she's like, damn, that's when you know you got the fire book. And I'm like, well, I do, but I'm not going to tell. So that's the thing, is I would have an amazing tell-all, but I'm never going to do it. But I do want to write a novel one day, and maybe it would be loosely based or something like that. But yeah, I am a woman of words and letters. My fun thing, like I'm a word nerd. I'm just really into like reading and writing. So, and obviously talking. So yeah, my other goals include just other kinds of shows I want to do. And I would love to have a lot of sports people on them, but it wouldn't necessarily only be sports. But yeah, the late night talk show is the dream.
Yeah. What would the name of it be?
Well, that's interesting. I'm not sure, because I've thought of it in a few different iterations. I guess it sort of depends on, I don't know, where I am in my life, or I don't know. That's a good question. Or maybe I shouldn't say, because someone will steal the idea. I don't know, but that is a very good question.
Hey, there you go.
All right. Okay. So next question here.
Fight with Karyn.
Yeah, there we go. We'll do it live from the bar that we open. That's what we'll do. Okay. So here's a question. Educating Martin said, seems like Conor hasn't been doing a ton of media. How does media affect mentality? And that's a good question, because I will say this, Ange. I know from, doing the questions, asking you guys questions. Obviously, when you get to the desk with us, or fighters are on with us pre-show, it's a little different. But obviously, I used to do all the junkets. I used to do, all the media days and all that. And it's a very tricky thing to ask a fighter about a loss, right? Or something that didn't go your way during a week when you're fighting. And it's a really tricky, I always know for me, because I may need a soundbite from you, and I might be trying to tell a story, and I have to ask you about something that didn't go your way, but I'm really cognizant of trying not to mess with your headspace and bring up something negative during fight week. And it's really tricky.
I think it can go both ways. It depends a lot on your confidence going into the fight. And I do feel like doing interviews and talking about what you want to do, how you felt about your past performances, can be very therapeutic for me. But that's not the same with every athlete. So for me, I think whenever I'm in a position where I have to talk about something hard, like coming off of more than one loss in a row, or being cut from the UFC, things like that, that really bring up emotion for me, or make me feel those like negative feelings that you're talking about, where you don't want to put a fighter in a bad mood on their fight week, where they're trying to amp themselves up and feel all tough. A lot of times you need to go and address those feelings, because otherwise you're going to have these hidden things holding you back, making you overly cautious, giving you just like negative nuggets in your head while you're warming up in the back room. It's good to get it out. It's good to talk it out. And so, because most fighters don't have therapists, it's kind of nice to sit down with someone and just be really real. And I think the best way for a fighter to handle that is to just be honest. And I think the fans really like that too. The fans really love when people like GSP say that he freaks out backstage because he's having panic attacks before he steps out. The fans love when someone like Cowboy Cerrone says that he wasn't feeling it the night that he fought himself, the night that he fought Conor, you know? So it's refreshing for the fans. So you're never going to lose a fan by being honest and telling them how you really felt. But also I feel like it like takes that weight off of your shoulder. Like, oh, I got to pretend to be tough. I got to pretend to be like, you know, the baddest bitch in the room. And like, yeah, you can be the baddest bitch in the room, but you can also like talk about some things that you had to work through, some failures that you had, and the things that you did to overcome them, things that you did to get better. So I like, at first, I think it was a little hard for me to open up, because I am very like closed off emotionally, and I don't like talking about my feelings. Like, I don't know, something.
Me neither.
You know, I don't like showing weakness.
Shove it down, but, just squash it down. Squash it down.
I'm so tough. Shove it down into that hole until it comes shooting out and punches. But I think it's really healthy to do that and to work through it. So if you do have interviews, just be honest, and it ends up making you feel good about the situation, making you feel like optimistic about what's in the future, and the fact that you were able to overcome those like bumps in the road to get there. So yeah, I think I kind of like it, and I also like the fact that people want to talk to me, because it makes me feel like what I'm doing matters. I don't feel like I'm just showing up and no one's gonna watch my fight. Everyone's gonna be going to the bathroom, you know, like refreshing their drink while I'm fighting. Like if interviewers, if journalists are hitting me up and want to talk to me, then it makes me feel good about what I've done in the past, and the fact that they want to hear from me and hear what I've been up to and hear how I'm gonna whoop that ass. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, that's cool, and it's true.
But I don't know how that relates to Conor, though.
Yeah, I mean, I just know that, like some people, and maybe in the Conor case, him being less vocal and being less out there, maybe that means he's more focused on the fight, right? Because Conor is all about selling the fight and being vocal, and he brings so much attention to the fights that work is already done. He already is a household name. So it's not like he needs to go out and sell this fight anymore. So I think it's probably a smart approach to do less this week, and just in general, because also he is still coming off a loss now, and as bold as Conor is and as successful as Conor is, he is a little bit of a wounded animal in this respect right now, right? Being that he's coming off a loss. And he really, in a lot of ways, you could look at this as a must-win situation. So I can respect that he is maybe talking less and focusing more on himself this week. Although if you saw the video of him out to dinner the other night and getting like totally mobbed out there in Newport Beach, and a friend of mine sent me a WhatsApp the other day because his friend was just like out for a drive, and there was Conor, running down the street in Newport Beach and stuff. And I really want to believe he's taking this seriously and doing all the right things to like really give us an incredible fight, because we know how good Dustin is. So I think that him doing less press this week or in advance of this fight is good. And like I said, he's already done it all. We already know the story. What else do we need to know before this match? It's the third time they fought. We know the story. We know what happened the first two times. Just show up, close the door, and throw down.
Exactly. And like as I was answering, I'm like, Conor doesn't need to do any of that. But the therapeutic part, can still
Oh,
relate.
for sure.
So, you know, he will have to do a few interviews and talk about like what he did differently this time and what's going to happen.
Course.
He'll have to do a couple, but he doesn't need to do a media tour. Like, everyone's going to watch the fight. Like, you don't have to convince people to watch the fight. Conor fans are going to watch because they want to see Conor get that one back. And technically, like, I remember talking to Eddie Alvarez once, and he was like, you know, most of the fights that I lost, I had a rematch, and I won the rematch. So technically, I haven't really lost that much.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you know, it cancels it out. So the only person technically Conor's lost to in recent history is Khabib, because the Diaz one didn't count because he got it back. Like, I feel like that's how he is approaching this situation. Like, this is my chance to get it back and erase the loss from my record. And I think he takes that very seriously. I think Poirier is taking it very seriously too, because, you know, he got pretty hurt in that fight, so he's gonna have to change up some things, change up his approach, and you know, like the damage that both of these guys took was real, and it's a pretty quick turnaround for a fight, for a rematch. So they're both gonna be training hard, and it might end up being one of those like weird, cautious like rematches where it goes to decision, and they're both like, you know,
it could be.
Think that they thought would have worked last. But yeah, it's gonna be an exciting fight, and they don't need to sell it. So of course, it's a good decision. Just chill, relax, keep your mind right, not worry about everyone trying to talk to you. Like, it must be so hard. The one time I did main event, I was lucky to have it in quarantine. So all my interviews and stuff were in my hotel room. So I can only imagine how it feels to be like as big of a celebrity as Conor McGregor, having to talk to everyone, having to go everywhere, do all these interviews, do all these talk shows and everything before your fight, when you're like the most annoyed, the most depleted, like the most like just wanting to get it over with. So yeah,
for sure,
it's a little different. Me and Conor are a little different situation.
Well, and also the fact is that, not for nothing, you're a big deal for us in our fight world. So you're still mostly talking to people who are fight savvy, because once you break out into that superstar household name thing, now he's talking to morning shows and, you know, whatever, all these places that don't know anything about fighting. So that's when all the really stupid questions come in, like the really stupid questions. You know what I mean? So then you're like, oh my God, it's like working their patience and their like, so I hope it means we're getting a more focused Conor, because I think, you know, it's going to be a great fight. It is going to be a great fight, I think. And yeah. Excited. I'm excited. Okay. You got a question, or is it me again? Oh no. There's a few of these questions.
I keep forgetting to look.
Okay, here you go. Can I start? This is from Hus Too Sleepy, or Who's Too Sleepy? HUSTOO Sleepy. They're asking, can I start training Muay Thai at 24 years old? Who's your favorite Muay Thai fighter? Well, this question would, I would imagine, be for you, because I think that's a question that a lot of people think, hey, am I too old to start? You know, is this too young to, like, you know, nowadays we hear about people starting to fight at 16. But I think 24, I'd say go for it personally. What do you think?
Yeah, I was 24 in Muay Thai. I feel like they were fishing.
Yeah.
You saw my interviews. No, I was 24 when I started Muay Thai, and I also had that feeling the entire time, like, you know, I'm way too old to actually make something of this. I'm just doing it for fun. And then when I had my first fight, it was about 9 months into training, and my coach was like, hey, you want to fight in this tournament in Virginia? And I'm like, you think I'm good enough to fight? And he's like, well, we'll find out. And, you know, just the fact that he asked me meant that he did think that I was good enough to compete, but I didn't believe it myself, because I'm like, I'm so old. I'm old, I'm 24, I'm ancient, you know? Like, that's my brain at 24. So I always tell people, even if you're starting at 30, like, whatever age you're starting at, just do it. Just do it for fun. Do it to enjoy it. Like, don't do it to, like, set out and be a superstar.
Yeah.
But if you set out with a goal to be the best you that you can possibly be, you never know what that can happen. You never know what can happen with that. So when I started Muay Thai, I fell in love with it. I threw my first elbow, my first pointy elbow, and I was like, ooh, my little twiglets can, like, throw power. This is amazing.
Yeah.
And I just kept going further. I had my first fight. I won. I had my second, third, fourth, 16th fight, won all of those. And then, you know, the rest is history. I made it into the UFC, and it was a fun journey. You know, it still is a fun journey, and where it's brought me, like, all the different places, all the different countries, like, all the different people that I've met, people like you, like, you know, it's like, it's crazy to think where I am now compared to, like, what I was doing when I was 24 and I was watching MMA on TV, and I'm like, man, this is a cool sport. Like, it's so crazy to be actually a part of it now. Like, I started as a fan. And if you're passionate about anything, you can make something out of it. It doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter if you don't see anyone that looks like you. Doesn't matter if you suck at first, but you're still really into it. So you just keep going.
Yeah.
Like, the passion is what creates opportunity and what creates success. So as long as you stay consistent, then you can do whatever you want. So fucking do it. Don't.
Nice.
You're young as shit.
I love it. That's a great answer. Go for it, yo.
Yeah.
All right. Do it. Okay, let me see if I got some more questions here too.
Oh man. Did Iggy Azalea do blackface?
Yeah, I heard there was some.
She did?
I might have to ask Mini about this. There was some whole Iggy Azalea thing about her saying, like, "Oh, I'm the same color I've always been." Like, but I don't know what her deal is, if she's actually part black or if she is or isn't. Like, I've heard that about her before. I don't know if she's a white girl or, but I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter to me that much.
Sure she's a white girl.
Is she's a white girl?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's a white girl. And didn't she do that thing where she went on the podcast, like the Breakfast Club or whatever? What's that?
The Breakfast Club, right?
And she tried to rap.
Oh, and she couldn't.
That wasn't her. I'm pretty sure that's her. And she was like, blah, 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 turn it out, take it to town, I'm going now. And everyone's like, are those words?
Oh no. Man. So was that to imply that white people can't rap, though? Because that's not true. But, like,
it's just funny that she attempted to rap and sucked. And now she's blackface. So, hey, whatever. Maybe it's just a really good tan.
Maybe it's just a really good tan. I don't know.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I did hear some stuff about that, though. Okay, so here's a question here. Andy Rue is asking, do you take any special, do you take, on Twitter, it's Cry More MF, which is funny. Do you take any special precautions during training, i.e. Max Holloway not sparring for his fights anymore to extend his career? That's actually a good question because, you know, obviously when you're training, you need live rounds and you need to know the real feeling. And that's literally what I guess kind of led to Conor's demise in the last fight, right? That he didn't checking any leg kicks. I know leg kicks are hard to train anyway because, you know, if you're really doing them, it's a problem. But do you sort of, you know, either whether it's training things or even like in your outside life, do you like, I'm not going to drive to the market anymore because I don't want to get in a car accident? Like, are there little things that you do during camp?
For sure. I don't roll with certain people. I don't spar certain people who are either bigger than me or maybe a little spastic or an accident waiting to happen. Like, you know those people. Once you're in a gym long enough, you know who to avoid when you're getting ready for a fight, who's gonna like do something crazy and like pull something out or hurt you or whatever. So those things I don't do. I don't drink that much. I am on my vitamins because it's really easy to get hurt when you're training really hard and your body's tired and everything's tight. So so you got to make sure that your body is healthy while you're doing that stuff. And you know, I still spar just because I still feel like I'm learning a lot, and I think it's different for every athlete. Like Max has been in the game since he was a kid, and I started when I was the ripe old age of 24. So so it's I still feel like I'm learning a lot, especially in the ground game, and then when it comes to blending everything together. So I still have to spar. But once you get to that level where you're beating up everyone in the gym, and every now and then you'll take some hits, but you're pretty much winning every fight in the gym. Like you're winning every round. Once you get to that level, then it's just technique. It's just staying in shape. It's just getting a little better at the stuff that you already do, but you don't have to practice it on somebody's face. Like you can practice it on pads. You can practice it. You can do live situational drills that reflect sparring, but it's still pretty controlled, so you can avoid any like random concussions that might happen. So it is really smart for people who are at Max Holloway's level. Even at Conor's level, you know, he hasn't been active, but he's still at that top level where he is one of the best fighters in the world. So he doesn't need to spar hard, you know. He doesn't need to spar hard. Like the leg kick thing is like something that you can work in drills. You can work in pad work. You can just get a good kicker to come and just kick the shit out of you every day. You just have to check it. You have to like find that timing and get out of the way, or check the kick, or come back with a combination. So it's definitely a smart thing to do once you get to that level. I just feel like I'm not there yet. So that's why I still spar and I still like roll live when I'm in fight camp, because those reactions are something that are really important. Just being able to defend quick, see something coming, like scramble out of a position, get up and punch, like knowing when to pull the trigger is like something that I still have to work on. So yeah, I definitely agree with that though. Like I think Dan Henderson is another one who stopped sparring towards the end of his career.
Smart.
Just to protect the chin. And once I am getting a little chinned up, then I'm definitely cutting out boxing sparring, striking sparring, and just sticking to drilling and working on my craft and just showing up for fight day healthy.
Yeah, nice. Well, I just know for me, fight week, I just cut back on the carbs because I don't like to look puffy on the air. So, so fight week. So today's Monday. So today being Monday, and I'll be working this weekend, today will probably be the last day I'll have some serious carbs. And then the rest of the week
jump
will
rope.
Be extra. I jumped today. So the rest of the week we'll be weaning ourselves off the carbs. But that's it. Okay, so we have about 10 minutes left, Ange. We got a couple of questions left to get to.
I had one about your jumper. Actually, you just reminded me, but I have to find it.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Let's see. Well, let's see.
I have one for you. Oh.
Well, see, some people are asking me about, like, which fighter is more different on camera and off. Like, most people are pretty consistent. I don't really find that I've got, like, somebody who just fakes it for the camera and then is a jerk off camera or vice versa. Like, you guys, the fighters in general, are pretty consistent and pretty great. Like, somebody else was asking me, is there anybody, you know, that I didn't like? And honestly, there's only been like one or two people that ever weren't cool. They're not even active fighters anymore. They're already, you know, busted, like come and gone. So it doesn't even matter.
Ooh.
Okay, what is his name now? I'm trying. Croy. One of the guys that was on when I did the American Top Team versus Black Zillion season. And one of the guys on American Top Team, I want to say Nate, I don't even remember now. came in and said that I only was rooting for the Black Zillions. He basically called me a racist and said I only was rooting for them and stuff because of who, like, skin color. And I was like, yeah, that's not true. And he came in with Spong and, like, I know Tyrone. And he said so much racist stuff to me. And, like, to the point where I was like, I was in shock. I was like, oh my God, you're, like, really saying all this racist stuff to me? Like, right, like, it was actually sort of cool because a lot of time racists don't say the stuff to your face. So it was like kind of cool that the racist actually said it right to my face. But then when he said it right to my face, I was like, oh my God, the racist is saying stuff right to my face. And like, I didn't know what to do. And it was so weird to me that like, I was like, what are you doing? Right. And,
so
anyway, like I said, he like lost and like whatever. But I literally was like, I didn't know what to do. I was like, what are you saying to me right now? And then he had to come back. I can't believe I'm saying this, but whatever. So he had to come back another time. And of course I wasn't very nice to him because why should I be? And he said something to me and he tried to apologize. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. Because I think such and such, I think it came off kind of racist. I'm like, cause you are. And I just called him on it. I was like, dude, there's no, I think, like, dude, you're a, anyway, let's move on. Angela, have you,
oh my goodness.
And it almost never happens. And like I'm saying, like the fact that it did, I was like I was shocked. You don't come step to me on my set and talk racist stuff to like, dude, what?
Yes, Madonna. You're not even in here yet.
Like I said, he doesn't fight anymore now. So it doesn't matter. But also I was like, yeah, Tyrone Spong is just my friend. Like I've known for a long time. So I'm not rooting for him because he's chocolate. Like he's my friend. And he's the coach.
He's
like,
been in the game for so fucking long, too. Like, everyone's rooting for Spong over you, guy. No one knows your name. That's crazy. Oh, man. All right, I have one for
okay, real quick, because we got only a few minutes left.
Okay. When are you and KB Heat going to have a jump rope contest? This is from R.L. Larson, 2001. Oh, snap.
Oh, snap. So I wanted to come down to San Diego and train with you. And the guys at Bryant Boxing are sending me some gloves. So I will have some fresh new boxing gloves to come down and train with you with. But see, here's the thing. Your cardio is always going to be better than mine, except I am a damn good jump roper. But you're always going to be able to outlast me.
No, well, see, my problem is I always trip. I'll jump rope forever, but I will trip up on every 10th like jump. Like I'm not a great jump roper. It's my warm up. That's not my go-to. I'm not skilled at jumping rope. I always see the videos and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Crossing them up, doing all this stuff. Wow. I can't do any of that shit. So you would definitely smoke me in a jump rope contest. So
cool. Well, I'll give you that one. I'll win on skills and because I'm working on like my footwork and then I watch videos too and I'm like, okay, I got to work on some of these like around the back things. And then some of them I'm like, well, that's just stupid. Like what? Yeah. That's just a stupid trick. Like it's a trick for trick's sake. Like I still want to be jumping. Like and I still want the workout part. So I'm not trying to do all these crazy tricks. And like I see some people, they'll fling a thing. And I'm like, I'm not trying to whack myself in the head with the handle with like some cool spinning thing. Like I just want to jump, but I do like footwork things and stuff because that's fun to me. Because like I said, the reason I love jumping rope because it's the closest thing to hitting the dance floor. So that's why I like it. Yeah. So to me, we can do it. We'll jump. I want to get into double Dutch. I want to try double Dutch now that I feel confident and stuff. So maybe we'll come down to San Diego. We'll get Adam to hold the ropes and get him.
Oh, could you imagine? The lightest guy to ever double Dutch. That'd be amazing. Yeah, we have to do that.
That would be great. All right. Well, listen, we're at 57 minutes. We got to probably wrap this up and get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for sending in the questions. We really appreciate it. And this show is also on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and stuff. So, Angela, where can they find you? Because everybody wants to follow you. So where can they find you?
Oh, everyone wants to follow me, and you can do it at Angie Overkill on Instagram and Twitter, and at Overkill Hill on TikTok.
Nice. So I'm KB Heat on Instagram, Karyn Bryant everywhere else, Karyn. Bryant as in Kobe, no relation. But may he rest in peace. I think I'm on TikTok. I never use it, so whatever. But yeah, so Angie, you posted a picture with your little booty looking extra sweet the other day. How'd those pictures come out?
The pictures look pretty bomb, and I only posted the pictures because no one was liking my other training photos. I needed people to send in questions for our show today. So I put my ass out there for what had happened was, and I expect you to do the same next time we have to do a questions episode, Karyn.
I feel I'm a more confident upper body girl. So yeah, we'll see. We'll do what we need to do.
You get you a weighted jump rope and do those like little squat.
Yes, I have the 1 pound and 2 pound ropes. You're right. I need to work on the squat thing some more. Anyway, folks, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Tell your friends about the show. We need to grow. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
See ya.